Today, more than 1 out of every 3 people are reading their emails in dark mode. However, almost every single brand owner that I talk to doesn't know how to optimize for it. And the issue is, dark mode will absolutely ruin your beautiful emails if you don't follow the steps that I'm about to share in this video. If you're new here, my name is Zach Schaefer, and last year my team helped our e-commerce clients generate over $23 million from email and SMS alone. And we create and send over 150 emails every single month. Optimizing all of our Klaviyo emails for dark mode has been a massive part of how we've helped so many brands add revenue. So if you want to learn how to optimize your Klaviyo emails for dark mode, let's get into it. If your emails aren't optimized for dark mode, they can end up looking like this. As you can see, you can't read the logo. There's a weird amount of black space. There are certain elements that just don't look great. And overall, makes your emails look terrible. It hurts your revenue. And if this turned up in someone's inbox, they're not going to bother to squint their eyes and read what's happening. They're just instantly going to click off. So in this video, we're going to talk about email structure, logos, images, text sections, spacer sections, countdown timers, fonts, footers, and one hack to never worry about dark mode ever. So make sure to stick around until the end because that last tip will automatically fix all of your dark mode issues. So there are 2 formats that you can choose for your emails. Number 1, mostly image-based emails. This completely solves the dark mode problem altogether. This is our preferred solution. This is what we do with almost all of our emails. And number 2 is a blend of HTML text sections and images. This requires a lot more testing and trial and error to make sure that these types of emails actually look good in dark mode. Both options are completely fine. So here's how each of these work. So option 1 here is using all image emails and adding some plain text in the footer for deliverability. So here's an example of what that would actually look like. These are your standard image-based emails. Nothing crazy here. You got beautiful designs. This email above is composed of different image slices with some plain text in the footer. As you can see here, we're adding real live HTML text in that footer for deliverability. So what we do is in Figma, we create the nice pretty email design, then we slice up the email, and then we upload those slices into Klaviyo. This helps to keep the email completely intact, the exact way that we designed it, whether it's in light mode or in dark mode, and it stops the text from changing size. Now, you might see this and you might say, hey, what are these all image emails? You're going to go straight to spam, in which case you should definitely check out my 12-minute video of me explaining why all image emails do not go to spam and why we use them and generate a ton of money for our clients. Option 2 here, which I think this Jim Lifetime does really well, is blending text sections with images. So as you can see here, there's an image and then they nicely format it for dark mode. So this is how it looks in dark mode, and in light mode, it looks really good as well. As you can see, there's a nice blend. These are clickable buttons and overall looks solid, although it's not as simple to get the design exactly how you would like. This requires a lot of testing, sending emails to your own inbox, and just learning through trial and error. So something that I highly recommend is using the Dark Reader Chrome extensions. This makes it super easy to see your test emails in dark mode without needing another device. Real quick, if you're running a D2C brand and you want my help implementing every single thing in this video and maximizing your email and SMS revenue, click on the first link in the video description. Now back to the video. All right, now logos. This is a massive one. A ton of people mess this up. The problem is in dark mode, background colors invert. So black becomes white and white becomes black. So a black PNG logo is just not going to show up in dark mode. So as you can see here, this is an example of dark mode really messing up these logos. So a lot of times brands simply upload a transparent image to solve this, but that just ends up blending into the background and people can't even see the logo. So instead, what you can do is you can outline your logo with a white glow or a stroke, and you can just make sure it looks good in dark mode. So you can use a color for your logo as well to make sure it shows up well on light and dark backgrounds. So gray is a great example of a color that shows up well in both. And also what we normally do is just make your logo a full image slice. So it's 600 pixels wide, and this avoids the entire issue altogether. So with images, it's super critical to understand how the images are actually cropped because it could look great in light mode, but then in dark mode, you're going to actually see a black background and the crop could look terrible. As you can see on the right here in email number 2, the crop is like way too cropped in. It doesn't look good and it just doesn't give off that premium feel. However, on the left, there's a proper crop to your image and it looks a lot better. With text sections, you don't want to alternate between image, then text, image, then text, image, then text, because that creates these very ugly white and black stripes where the images look fine, but then in dark mode, these kind of black stripes come in and it just doesn't look great at all. With spacer sections, you definitely want to be careful with these. They can cause these random stripes between images. So as you can see in this image, there's an image and then there's a spacer and then there's another image. So instead of doing this, which kind of looks weird in dark mode, what we recommend is creating this spacing naturally within Figma or your other design tool like Canva and adjust the image heights there instead of doing it within Klaviyo using spacers. So with countdown timers, we don't use a lot of these because they don't display very well in dark mode and they typically need a bunch of extra work to actually make it look decent. So we use these pretty sparingly and you really have to test and make sure you understand how does this countdown timer actually look in dark mode. So with fonts, you want to be very careful what colors you're actually choosing. These colors are very essential. Black text is going to change to white. White text is going to change to black in dark mode. So you want to avoid crazy fonts and coloring and things like that. And overall, at the end of the day, you just want to know what does this actually look like in dark mode, and you want to actually test and send the email to yourself in dark mode. So with the footers, if you're not optimizing for dark mode, this is what they could end up looking like. The logo is impossible to read. Same thing with the social media icons. So instead, what we can do is we can add an outline or a glow to the PNG logo. You can include text from your About Us page for deliverability within that footer. And honestly, we don't even include social media icons within the footer since we don't like people leaving the email to go scroll Instagram or TikTok. But really, at the end of the day, it's about testing the email for yourself and making sure everything is completely readable in both light and dark mode by just doing the testing and looking at it in light and dark mode yourself. So, one hack to never worry about dark mode ever is simply sending more plain text emails. As you can see here, they look great in light and in dark mode. They have amazing deliverability. They act as a pattern interrupt, which increases open, click, and conversion rates. And overall, it just sounds like it's a personalized email coming from a colleague or from a friend. So, we always like to sprinkle them in between designed emails. Always has performed really well for us. All right, and that's the video. If you want help setting all of this up so you can massively increase your monthly revenue for your D2C e-commerce brand, simply check out our website by visiting zhs-ecom.com. It's the first link in the video description. And if you want to learn more about email design trends that you need to know in order to generate more revenue, then simply check out this video on screen that I posted a while back. Appreciate your time. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day.